Hello and welcome to We Welcome Your Teams, a podcast about one of the most unique jobs in sport, football stadium announcers. Yes, this is the podcast about the people who are the voice you hear on the stadium PA system at football grounds up and down the country, and in the case of this podcast, internationally as well. I'm Rich Hurst, I'm the announcer at West Bromwich Albion, chatting to counterparts up and down the leagues about why we love the job we get to do every single match day and what an experience it is, because it's a privileged position full of insight about what goes on behind the scenes at UK football. So we're grabbing our clipboards, taking our position, checking the mic is on and checking that our lanyard and pass can be clearly seen for everyone on this special edition of We Welcome Your Teams. Hi there, welcome along to another We Welcome Your Teams, a special off-season episode here where we're quite Manchester-based, but for a very good reason. Well, not Manchester-based as such. We did try to record this when I was in Manchester recently, but realised I couldn't find a neutral venue. Because alongside my regular co-host, voice of Old Trafford, Alan Keegan, is our guest today, who had the honour at the end of last season to announce at the Champions League final, the night his team secured a historic victory that saw his team complete the treble. And it says here, if nobody knows what a treble is, ask Alan Keegan.
Hey.
We do speak to a few announcers who've moonlighted at Wembley, but not many at a Champions League final, which in this instance was Istanbul. So what's it like? How's the pressure different from a big match day? And what memories has he come back with? Here is Manchester City's announcer, Alex Kirkley. Hello, Alex.
Hello. Hi, Rich. Thanks for having me back.
He's back. Alongside Mr. Alan Keegan. You know, a Champions League veteran, obviously.
I've only done 3. I've got to listen, Alex. I've got to take what I get tonight, mate. So let me have the moments. Yeah, I've only done 3. We won 1 and we lost 2.
There we go. And let's be honest. I know I really wanted to do this episode when I was in Manchester a few weeks ago, but then I realised there's no way I'm going to find a neutral venue with you two, is there? No way, Jose. So we're better off doing it this way. So the big question to start with, Alex, the one that I know is on every stadium announcer's lips right now. Have you kept the lanyard, and if so, where is it?
Absolutely, Rich. Yeah, I've got. I do keep lanyards. Weirdly, I don't know why. I think the reason I do is when I have been to Wembley in the past, I think you get to security desk and office as you go in and go through security, and there was a little side office there, and I looked in, and there was a guy. Or one of the workers there had all his lanyards hung up, and it was like everything from AC/DC to FA Cup finals to Beyonce. I was like, that's impressive. So I've just been keeping all like the big game ones in a little box. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Nice display in the downstairs bathroom at some point. Maybe,
some point.
I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah. Always keep
like laminated picture you get on the hooks.
Yeah,
down your neck for 24 hours. Yeah,
denoting exactly where your access is and isn't, yes. and depending on the stage of the night, depending on the stage of the occasion, everyone checks it to start with, and then it kind of goes out the window towards the end of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, you sound like you've been to a Champions League final yourself, Rich, because I was like pitch side for once, because normally at the Etihad I'm up on the first tier in a patio windowed room. But on the Champions League final, I was pitch side, and I was like walking on the pitch at the end, like doing like, what time is it, Mr. Wolf, before somebody got hold of me and said, what are you doing? But I got further and further each time. I didn't chance my luck too much, but I was probably within about 25, 30 yards of the podium as the trophy went up, which was great, perfect for me.
Oh. So when did you first find out you'd be doing it then?
It was quite late on, actually. It was about 10 days before. Now, what had happened was there'd been talks in the background between, and Alan will know this from when he's found out in the past, there'd been talks, and it was getting to the stage from the City point of view that it was looking unlikely it was going to happen, because they'd want someone from Inter Milan and obviously myself from City to go. And at one stage, the messages I was getting was that UEFA had their own announcer from the stadium who would cover everything. And this happened at Porto. I mean, we were in COVID times then when City played Chelsea, so it was very much like, look, we don't need superfluous people knocking around that need to come and potentially super spread COVID about. So I found out about 10 days before the game, because it was touch and go where it was going to happen, and it was looking likely that it wasn't going to happen. So my wife was then like, well, we need to go on a family holiday because we've waited so long for football season and that. And she's a Red, by the way. Very loosely, I think she still thinks Schmeichel's in goal and Cantona's up front. That's
once a Red, always a Red.
So booked this family holiday straight after Wembley. So saw Alan on Saturday at Wembley. The next day I went to Portugal on a family holiday, booked all this stuff, and then got the call from City saying, oh, it's happening. So worked it all out to the point where my wife and my kids went on a flight home from Albufeira, and then an hour later I flew out from Istanbul. See you later.
Wow. Did the calls ever come? Were you changing plans, Alan, for yours? Because I know the thing is that when the Champions League's final comes calling, I'm sorry, but you obviously, we drop everything, don't we?
Yeah, you drop everything. Well, I slightly different to Alex, but interestingly enough, in 1999, I'd been to a load of the away games in Europe as a fan. Not because I wasn't the announcer at United. I did work behind the scenes for the club. I wasn't the announcer. Yeah. So 99, I've been to loads of the away games in Europe with two other mates of mine. But come the final, just for personal reasons and whatever else in my life, I didn't get to the Nou Camp. I never went. And I was absolutely heartbroken. So I vowed that if the opportunity ever occurred in my lifetime, if United got to the Champions League final, I was going. Wherever it was in the world, in Europe or whatever, I was going. So when we beat Barcelona in the semi-final 1-0 with the Paul Scholes goal, and I think I've mentioned this before, it was a rocket into the East Stand goal. It was the longest 75 minutes of my life, because I'm thinking, rain, hail or shine, I'm going to Moscow, as was the case, the Linziki Stadium, I'm going. Not knowing that I'd be going as the announcer. Mm-hmm. So what happened then, a bit earlier than Al, I got a call 2 days later off United saying, you've been invited, we want you to go. We need your passport details, you've got to get a special visa for Russia, And anyway, I ended up going to Moscow and I didn't have to pay a penny because everything was paid for. So it was a brilliant experience, and the way it all panned out, and the penalty shootout, John Terry, the whole Monty, it was just a fantastic experience. And no one likes to lose a final of any sort, but to win a Champions League final, there's no feeling like it.
Yep.
It's brilliant. So, yeah, it was great.
Alex, what about you? How well, you don't have to go into exact numbers, but was everything funded for you and provided for you to get you out there?
I'm happy to say it was, yeah. I was treated very, very well. Up in a really nice hotel, shuttle bussed around. My Istanbul experience, though, was pretty much like get there late Friday, straight to bed, and then went straight to the stadium on Saturday, so I didn't see any of the sights and sounds of Istanbul, unfortunately, but it was just one of those where it was a case of get to the ground, don't...
It's rehearsal in the round.
Exactly, yeah, the rehearsal was, I think at 2:00 in the afternoon ahead of the 10 p.m. kick-off local time. Yeah. And then, I think you've heard reports of like the whereabouts of the stadium in Istanbul being,
middle
fair way out from what you class as the city centre, if there is such a city centre in Istanbul with 20 million people kicking around. But it was pretty much like make base camp around the stadium and stick there for the day.
And was there like a bit of star treatment whilst you were there? Then in between rehearsals, your own room, masseuse, food, anything. Because this is Champions League.
Yeah, well, a lot of my friends from the club are working at the fan park, the city fan zone area. So I walked up the hill to that for a bit, and there was a few porter cabins which were air conditioned, thankfully, on that red hot day, and there was a bit of buffet, some soft drinks knocking around, so it was not quite palatial, but still good.
Good.
Still behind the scenes, treated well.
Yeah. So rehearsals at 2, and I suppose that I'm guessing is the first time you're exposed to this show that is the pre-match now for these things. So
Yes.
what sort of experience was that like? What was that like, seeing everything put together and being a little part of that?
Yeah, so rehearsal-wise, it was interesting to see, like, every broadcaster was pitch side, and it was pretty much set up without fans and without players ready to go. So what was interesting for me was that they wanted to hear exactly how you deliver everything, in-game, pre-match, and you had to give it the full beans, which I could see some of the TV crews and the broadcast staff members turning around because it was like full pelt.
Yeah. Because have you started doing first name last name with the crowd, or was that because I was listening intently to try? Yeah. That's when I first went, that's Alex, and then thought, right, well, we need to find out what happened. But
yeah, do you know what, Rich? I found a little niche or a little groove with the City fans, particularly because the going's been so good for the
always
past
helps.
6 months, particularly. Don't get me wrong, I've done it a few times, the call and response stuff, and it is absolutely died on its backside. But just this past 6 months where everyone felt in tune and things are going well, what started to do would be, most players have got their own songs that the crowd would sing ordinarily during a game. And I've just started singing the first line and then letting them finish the second, rather than doing the exact, first name, surname stuff, which is, I love all that in Europe, but I think a British English crowd probably either stick 2 fingers up at it and go, no, I'm not bothering with that.
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it?
I just seem to have found a bit of a thing there, which let's just see how it carries on.
I was going to say,
day where
milk it while you've got it. Yeah, absolutely, milk it while you've got it. So can you give us an example then of the sort of stuff you say then in sort of instead of that just first name, last name?
Yeah, so like Kevin De Bruyne is the correct pronunciation of his Flemish, but the fans all go with Kevin De Bruyne because that then fits in with White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. So Kevin De Bruyne. We've got Bernardo Silva to the tune of Voulez-Vous by ABBA, so you're asking me to sing now. Yep. Bernardo Silva, running down the wing, Silva. All those. So just need more player songs really to
start getting some of those.
Keep my job going.
Yeah, and what about your Italian counterpart? How much interaction did you get with him?
Loads, actually. He had his work cut out because I suppose, like for Alan, he was the everyman at Manchester United. At City, there's about 6 different presenters and hosts on the outside and the periphery of the stadium, whereas I know Alan you're doing everything, aren't you, Alan?
Yeah.
But so this was the same with the Inter Milan announcer. So he'd done like 6 hours of fan park interaction, and then he came into the stadium, was doing his announcer gig, whereas I've got friends who are presenters and hosts from the City point of view. It's kind of like a well spread out gig, if you like.
Yeah.
But the Inter Milan guy, I was sat with him for the whole game, which was novel as well, because there's only been a couple of occasions when I've done pre-season friendlies where I've been sat with, my counterparts from other clubs, and we were positioned down at pitch side, like I say, but in front of all the Inter Milan fans. So it was a really strange environment and way to watch the game, because I felt if City were going to score, I'd have to obviously go big with it, and over my shoulder you've got, what we're talking, 25,000-30,000 Inter Milan fans ready to jump through a line of stewards. But he was great, actually. He's English. He didn't speak much English. He had an interpreter / mate who he'd brought along to pretty much film him.
Oh, that's the giggy one, isn't it? That's the giggy one.
Doing all his big, grandiose, operatic stuff with the crowd, which was great to watch because I could see his friend filming him, and I was really impressed. But I thought, well, this is going to go out to his Instagram following, and I can't be seen to be like in the background going, wow. I just had to like sit there with it happening to my right hand side and just look forward, like thinking, this is really impressive, but I can't.
You can't show fake. Yeah, you're just going to sit there and go, meh, it's all right. Yeah.
But the guy I mentioned earlier from UEFA, the English-Turkish announcer, he was up on his feet and like applauding it partway through. And it's funny since then seeing the comments on the Inter Milan announcers' Instagram feed, because they all think that the guy stood up applauding is me.
Mistaken identity.
And I'm just tucked away in the background going, this is great, but I'm not letting on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obviously, how you would have done it was Lee, the Chelsea guy, and then did it in Moscow. Did you do it alongside him?
Yeah, I want to say Clive.
Okay.
And we just had to shake hands at the beginning and say, because I knew if United won, I'd be hysterical.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make the apology beforehand. And we're in a room. We weren't pitch side for that Champions League final in Moscow, whereas for the Europa League against Ajax, I was pitch side with Robin from Ajax, who's a great lad, and his English is better than any of ours. Yeah, he's a lovely fella. But going back to the Chelsea lad, so we did all the handshakes at the beginning, and you had this sort of quite stern-looking Russian presenter or stroke announcer, and there was loads in this room. I mean, far more than was needed. It was quite a big PA room, and you had to slide the window across, to capture the atmosphere in the stadium. So it was like slide the window across, like in your conservatory. You're capturing it all. And funny enough, where it was positioned, we were down near sort of the Chelsea end, so was this sea of blue was in front of me. And when Terry went up to take the penalty, I'm sure if Clive was here, he would agree. He thought they'd won it. And he was thinking, it's in the can here. I'm nearly on my knees because I think we've lost it, And I'm thinking, John Terry is not going to miss this, It's going in. Captain of Chelsea. He was professional. He wasn't taking the mickey, but he almost sort of thought, And Terry missed it, and I celebrated like it was a goal. Yeah. And you've got these Russians looking at me as if I've lost it, absolutely lost it. And I did, and again, I apologised to him at the end when it had all calmed down, but I'd done the pre-bill beforehand because I knew what I'd be like, I was that hungry and desperate for us to win it. And it was a great feeling. It was fantastic. And he was good at the end, he was disappointed. But I said to him, look, you'll be back. And, there'll be other times and you'll be here again.
Yeah, I just couldn't celebrate because where I was sat, it's so weird, it's so strange, like sitting in the away end of a game and not being, under your breath, like yes, but then having to do an announcement.
You had to do the goal, didn't you? You had to do the goal.
It's so weird, like sit on your hands but have a massive gob.
Yeah. I don't know what I'd have done. I don't know what I'd have done because to announce Ronaldo's goal was a brilliant experience. Unbelievable. 1-0 Champions League final. Bang! It's just fantastic.
Of course, sorry, because Alex, you wouldn't have done the goal announcement, would you? You only did pre-match.
I did. Do you know what? I did do the goal announcement.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was. I didn't do substitutions, but I did 2 team sheet lineups pre-match.
Yeah,
and then the goal. There you go.
Yeah.
Ticked off.
No way! I couldn't remember. It suddenly struck me. Sometimes of these things, once you get to the like Wembley, like cup final, it hands over to Chris, doesn't it? Chris will do goals and everything else like that, and we just do the pre-match. But so that was that, and that was a predetermined thing as well. So I'm guessing that then, like you say, adds to that anxiety of sitting in front of the Milan fans, knowing that if you score.
Yeah, I mean, Alan would have been cheering on Inter Milan that night, no doubt. But it was just such a nervy game. You could really feel the weight of the game again on City's shoulders, and it was it was a tough watch, despite having a lead, and even for a long time we didn't have a lead. Just sometimes you get a sense with football, don't you lads feel that, you know, today doesn't feel like it would be your day. You know, you get that smell around football, don't you? You get that gut feeling that, oh, we're not at it today at all, and you're just waiting for that killer moment where it just confirms your fears. I mean, that's classic City fan syndrome, I suppose. But yeah, it was weird. It was a strange, really tense night.
What about after? So when the final whistle goes, then what happened? What happened for those sort of few minutes, 10, 15 minutes after that, and all of that?
So that's where I was edging towards. I was already kind of pitch side at that point and edging closer to the podium, and then just went back to the little trestle table where we'd been announcing, and the Inter Milan guy was obviously like devastated, and I'm glad I didn't kind of celebrate. I didn't have the opportunity to celebrate in his face because seeing how upset he was. I couldn't, didn't want to be rubbing it in really. So we said our goodbyes. The UEFA team were mainly, I think it's a couple of guys from Nottingham actually. So they were on headset in like a truck or a prefab unit outside.
Yeah.
So I said bye to them, and I went and walked back up to the fan zone area because the City fans went one way, the Inter fans went the other. That was probably the best bit of organisation on the day actually. And then we went up to this fan zone area where if you've read the reports, everyone then just piles into coaches, buses, motorbikes, taxis down a single track road, and it was sat on this road for 2.5 hours, and it was just as we got to our staff minibus that we got a text through on the group staff WhatsApp we were in saying, now we've won, you're invited to the after party. So we're all going, brilliant, we can go to this swanky do. But then we're sat on this minibus for 2.5 hours going painful. Nowhere, and I don't know when the last time you boys started a night out at 3:30 a.m. was. It's one of those once in a lifetime things where we're just going, well, we'll get there, and
we will get there eventually. Yeah.
No sleep, because our flights the next day, we were being knocked up for them at 9:15.
In Russia, that was a different story, because obviously our game went into overtime, extra time, and then we had the penalty shootout. So there was a bit of a murmur or a rumour that if there was time and it finished after 90 minutes, some of us could have gone to the party, the team party. But the problem was our flights were very early, leaving from Russia. So with the game going into the extra 30 minutes and then the penalty shootout, and then all the rigmarole of setting up the platform and the stage, we couldn't go to the party then. We had to go straight to the airport. So I was absolutely gutted. But and the airport was something else, because as bad as the organisation was in Istanbul, I've never seen anything like it. We got to the airport, thousands of Manchester United fans, and I'm not exaggerating. You went through, they had a clicker, someone on the door with a clicker. Obviously you had to show your passport.
Yeah.
And then they said to you, right, you get on the first plane that comes down the tarmac. So we had to get on, walk. The planes were queuing up, like, to take off, and we just went on them, and they had a clicker, and right, 200 on that, and off we went. I came on with something that was like out of World War II. It was the oldest aeroplane I've ever travelled on. But I didn't care because we'd won.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't care at that point. Were you club suited up?
No, I was in a. Well, I turned up in my Man City top, and soon realised that I was sat in front of the Inter Milan fans. So I was given a UEFA jacket.
Nice. Still got it? Still got it?
Yeah. So it's got Istanbul 2023 on it.
Oh, all the souvenirs are coming back now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I had a polo shirt actually that I changed into, but I've come home with the hoodie, because one of those things where Man City sponsors Puma, and I was wearing an Adidas UEFA jacket, all that. So I thought, can't be seen on photos with in the wrong brand.
In the wrong brand, yeah, that's it. You'll be ditched completely. A quick quick break in the podcast then to check out 3 tunes from the current batch of the guys at Shoot Music are sending out to stadium DJs around the world for inclusion on their next matchday playlist. So the stadium chart represents the most popular new releases playing out across the nation's football grounds and sports stadiums, and it's put together using Shoot Music DJ download data. So let's take you into the top 3 as it stands. Number 3, currently Peggy Gao with Na Na Na. It goes like. Number 2, the awesome Royal Blood, Mountains at Midnight. Can see this being on a few matchday playlists when the season kicks off again. And number 1, Duke Dumont is still there with The Chant. So there you go, 3 more tunes up for consideration for your matchday playlist as you're getting ready to come back for the new season with a fresh sound. On Twitter, you can go to @SportPlaylists, and if you're a stadium DJ, remember to get signed up for their free service to get the latest tunes sent over for your reviewing and maybe use in your matchday playlist. Right, let's get back to Alan and Alex. Well, yeah, I want to talk about the FA Cup final as well, because obviously that was quite a day out for both of you. And how did the Football Focus thing come about?
So, Football Focus came about because I used to play five-a-side football with a friend of mine who's a Leicester fan, and he works on. There's a match of the day, like kids version.
MOTDX or whatever it's
That's
called.
The one. Yes,
yep.
I'm not. Yeah, down with the kids there, Rich. So I got in touch with him and I said, "Look, Alan and I have been on your podcast before. We've met up outside of the announcing world once or twice. And then I've got a friend whose brother is an editor on Match of the Day, so I just went down both those avenues and said, look, this might be quite nice. Alan and I get on, but we can act like pantomime enemies."
At what point did you let Alan know you'd sign yourselves up for this?
Well, I think they couldn't get hold of Alan to like the 11th hour, so I was kind of resigned again to it not happening. And then they said, "Oh, we've got him. Spoke to Alan. We can't get hold of him." He's like, he's changed his number.
On the back of that, I got this message, and I thought, they've won the league, the FA Cup. It's going to be a tough enough day as it is.
Oh, that was the reason, Alan, was it?
Football Focus,
Own off.
What are we going to do? Anyway, I got a message through whoever who's running the show, whatever. Al sends me a message saying, look, we've been in touch. I'm up for it. Are you up for it? And then they got in touch on the same day with United.
Okay.
The press office.
Yeah.
So United come back and said, look, if you want to do it, we don't mind. Go for it, So then I thought, yeah, well, all right, we'll have a bit of a laugh and we'll do it. And we did it, and it went well.
That was it. That was that, getting to meet up with you, Alan, before the game as well, and catching up with you after a while, mate. It was great. It was cracking.
Yeah, we had a good laugh, and there was a lot of respect for each other. And,
totally, absolutely.
It was one of those. It was the FA Cup final. You dream, don't you? Anything can happen. City were big favourites, but anything can happen. And you just didn't know. And you live in hope, that as a Red, obviously, that we were going to maybe do it. And 12 seconds in.
Well, that was it. It was all nicey pre-match, and then I didn't see Alan. And then 13 seconds in, I'm falling off my seat and thinking about Alan.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I had a great seat. Everything was going so well. The pre-match.
13 seconds.
Oh, mate, I just couldn't believe it. And I knew then it wasn't going to be our day, because there's no way City were just going to run you off the park.
Oh, God,
the weather, it's so hot, so warm, the pitch is so big. But then for that split second...
It's as big for United as it is for City, Alan.
Yeah, but you controlling the ball I'm on about. We're chasing the game out. We're chasing the game. You're 1-0 down, and City are the king at holding the ball, aren't they?
You got back into it, though, didn't you?
The dodgy penalty, it come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden I'm saying to my lad, Joe, hang on, where's that come from? And then you just have that split second where you think, actually,
Totally.
is it going to be our day? You start getting decisions like that.
But we were all thinking that, Alan, the other way around. So absolutely.
Yeah, City missed a few, and I'm thinking, you were in control without any shadow of a doubt. But thinking, oh, we've got the game, and we've got the penalty. And I thought, hang on a minute, and then. Then the second goal goes in, and then you just know that's it. City, the Kings are locking it up. There's no way. But although when it bobbled on that sort of near the bar at the end, I'm thinking, hang on, it might go in.
Well, hey, look, I think it was great that they did that, and gave announcers a little bit of a highlight of what it's like, and talking through it. I thought it was a really nice touch. Al, we've seen you. I know we're in off season now, and I keep seeing pictures of you hosting things left, right, and centre. The man never stops. But we haven't caught up since the mighty event that is Soccer Aid, and pretty soon afterwards an England game at Old Trafford that I caught you doing on the telly.
Yeah. Well, the Soccer Aid. I mean, Al's done that, but it's a TV show. It's not
a football match, game. Is it? No.
No, it's pure TV. And by that, for anybody listening, particularly the announcers, they'll get it, because every rule out of the book near the dugout or the pitch side goes out the window, because you've got, Usain Bolt playing, you've got like Stormzy as a manager, you've got Harry Redknapp.
Stormzy as a manager.
And then the telly want to interview them while the game's going on. You're trying to do your job with substitutions, but Soccer Aid's great. It's about the charity, and it, but I don't know if you found this, Alex, but they're always praying for a draw.
Oh, they want penalties, don't they? Yeah.
They want penalties because, it goes into, obviously, another ad, more donations. It's all about the donation, and it was about, I think it was $1 million down on last year this year. That would have been probably the difference.
Right.
But for me, I wanted it to finish, and then when Robbie Keane whacked that second one in, I announced it like a United goal.
Was that so you could get to the after party, Alan, and not be jetted out there?
Yeah, well, I was invited to that as well, but we had end of season pitch days happening at Old Trafford, and I had to be at Old Trafford for about 7 the next morning, so I didn't bother with that. I just thought, I can't be doing with it. But anyway, listen, it was a great experience. But no, moving on to the England game, it was an absolute honour, lads. As an announcer, obviously I always like to get it in. I was the first announcer at Wembley for England and Brazil and the Beckham game. But to do it at Old Trafford, it was just a fantastic experience. I did do some research on that one the week before with the Macedonian names, etc. And it was interesting to say the least.
I caught you doing, I think it was 4 subs at one point. And there was just a brilliant bit of footage that I managed to nick off the telly of someone obviously coming up to you, right, Alan, I think we're going to have a substitute now. And it's like you're going, well, which one's first? And they were going, we're not exactly sure. I think they're just going to, and you can just see your face go, don't worry, love. I've done this before.
Yeah, I've got it sorted. Shall I tell you what happened? Shall I tell you what happened for there? For anyone who's not seen the clip where you hung me out, absolutely hung me on this one.
It was great. It was so good.
You'll get this, both of you. Well, any of the announcers will. So obviously, it's not your run-of-the-mill game. I don't know any of the Macedonian players, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't familiar with any of them. I tried to do my homework, but obviously you don't know who the starting 11 are going to be, etc., etc. So then they tell me, and you know what it's like with European officials, they're not the most cooperative, and they're not. I'm not speaking out of turn. They're not the most cooperative for giving you the card. They have to give it the FA representative. So they tell me there's three substitutions happening. So that's fine, I'm all in control. I've got my sheet on and off. But then, and the bit that you caught, he's coming up to me saying, they're doing a 4th. And then I say, well, who is it? And he's going, he hasn't told me because he's stood pitch side. So he's got the cards, they're like fumbling with the ball.
Oh, the cards.
So that's where all that, well, who is it? What, and then I just had to say, look, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. It'll happen.
And then I'm relying on the board going up.
Yeah.
The red number, the green number. I've done me 3, and the names left a lot to be desired. However, I did have the interpreter there doing the lineup at the beginning, not for the goals, but for the beginning. and he said I didn't do bad actually. So
Okay.
I'll take that endorsement.
Well, you did have some names to deal with there. I want to throw a couple back here because we might as well flip the test and go back on the old name game we used to play of What's My Name.
Yeah.
So a couple were put forward from North Macedonia that I spotted. So yeah. I don't know if you can see in the chat. There's a couple there out, and also Alex has pinged in someone from South Africa. Where's this name come from, Alex?
Well, this is. I know when I last came on the podcast with you guys, Rich, you like your little pronunciation tests.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. Against Alan on quizzes, aren't I, Alan, at the minute?
Yeah. He's winning them all, mate. He's winning them all.
What's that? What was there a Football Focus quiz?
No, it was where we had a BBC Radio, two on BBC Radio Manchester, separate shows, and I didn't realise I'd won, Alan, until you told me.
Yeah, well, I had to tell you, they were quite good quizzes. Well, the first one especially, and the second one, I didn't even get off out the starting block, did I?
That was shocking from you, Alan.
Yeah, I know. It was
good quiz, that one, though. Good quiz where you had to name... So you, as in you guys, we would have announced every single opposition goal scorer at your stadium. But the question was, it was almost like a
reverse role.
Yeah, so can you name an opposition goal scorer from the last season just gone?
There'd
be a few. So we went for Haaland.
No, well, hang on. So you went first.
I went for Ivan Toney, who scored for Brentford against City just before the World Cup.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, easy this. Haaland. Now, we've managed to contain Haaland.
Keep him out. Yeah, one of the few who managed it.
Shaw did a great job on him. Martinez did okay on him. And I just went Haaland. And that's it. The game was over. Alex had won.
He'll take that.
You'll take that, Alex, yeah. But anyway, listen. So is Alex doing the South African one?
No, he's setting that for you.
I know, Rich, have you dug out some of this?
I've just been through the North Macedonian team. So, I mean, Alan's got a bit of a head start on those because he's probably going to remember those. But, Alan, can you see the one that Alex has put in from South Africa?
Yeah.
What would you say?
World Cup on the horizon. I just thought I'd find some...
Right, that's a cracker, that, Al. Right, so am I going first?
Go on, Alan, yeah.
Right, all right, here we go then. So, South Africa, the first bit, Tisetso, I'll go for that. Makubila. Makubila. I broke it into three.
I like that, yeah.
We're having that. So it's Makubila.
I'd still say, I'd actually, because of the T, and I'm tempted to go Tisetso.
Right.
And then Makubela.
That's what I'd go with, I think, yeah.
Makubela.
Yeah. I don't know about Tisetso or Tisetso.
Yeah.
Makubela.
Yeah. And then
do you know, Al?
I'd say Tisetso Makubela.
Okay.
And then I've just added another one for you there, lads.
From Switzerland one. Yeah. This is good. This had Women's World Cup. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. So just so this... podcast doesn't drag on. Rich, are you going for that third one down? Or?
I can see the Switzerland one, and I'm going to say she's called Anna Maria Chernogochevich.
That's a good shout, mate. Alex, what are you going on that one?
Yeah, so I've announced this player at the Women's Euros last year, and I went for Anna Maria Chernogochevich, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
What was I? I was nowhere close then. Well, almost.
You were.
Gorchevich.
You might be right, Rich. I'm not saying you were right or wrong. Just.
And the North Macedonians, Elijah.
I think that's Ilya.
Oh,
it's Ilya. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I announced this player, lad. So
here we go.
Go on, give us
you on this one.
Give us the right one, Alan.
Well, let me hear you two first.
Nestor. Oh, that's not bad actually. Nestorovsky.
Yeah, that's near. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I was moving on to the next one. Davor Zdradzovsky.
Yeah, it's all in threes, isn't it?
Tradskovsky.
ZDRAV.
Zdravkovsky. Yeah.
I mean, if he scored for the away team, you're mumbling it anyway, aren't you? So no one's going to.
Yeah, you're saying it quick, aren't you?
Saying it quick,
and it's at Old Trafford at 73,500.
Where have you dug him out from, Rich? Because I'm just looking at the team sheet from that day, and he's not on there.
No, this is. I just went to the Wikipedia of the recent squad and picked the worst looking names, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's why Alan's got away with that one.
He has.
Yeah. You've done well there, mate. You've done well on that.
Right, finally, lads, just checking because there's not a long left, as in long left of the pod, but also long left before the season starts again, and we all geared up and ready to go for another long. Well, it might not, still could be enjoyable for you, Alex, but I don't know about me and Alan.
I can't wait. I mean, it's been nice to have a bit of a break and just appreciate what's coming up again. It's going to be an interesting season because I think a lot of teams have, improved. You could argue with some of the signings they've made. So, can City go full tilt? Can we do the quadruple? Could we even retain a Champions League, a Premier League, an FA Cup? I don't know. If
you do, I don't think this podcast will happen in the next season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you won the Champions League again. You've got the taste for it now.
Now that you've done it,
now that you've broken that, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'd certainly be surprised if you didn't get to the final.
Yeah, it almost felt like last season that we might do better in the Champions League than the Premier League for a while, and that seemed to be the focus almost. So, but hey, not saying that's how things might go this season, but interesting.
Less of the punditry, more of the announcing talk. Alan, are you confirmed that you'll still have a lectern for next season?
Listen, the FA were very impressed with my lectern, I'll tell you, honestly. And we have a spare one for the floor manager, for the Premier League floor manager, and the gentleman, Ben, who you saw coming up to me, who I got on very well with, he had great pleasure in using it. So I think that will get me the next England gig, actually, because they were impressed with the lecterns.
The lecterns, what did it?
But the facilities at Old Trafford. So, yeah, the lecterns there, mate. And what impressed the FA is normally, as you've seen, lads, or definitely you, Rich, it's got the United logo on the front. But they put the England logo on the front.
Well,
so
if that... I mean, if that can't, by the time we get to the start of next season, that'll have about 5 different brands on it, won't it?
Oh, well, it is United.
It is, come on. It'll have DHL on the front.
Lectern partner.
Partner.
Yeah. Exactly.
Any lecterns on the horizon for you, Alex?
I love a lectern. Yeah, I don't use them often enough. I'm a bit getting lectern envy now. Hearing Alan's story.
I'm all for
wheeling them out pitch signs.
What I keep seeing a lot of. I mean, it's been trendy for the last few years, but kit and player reveals. An awful lot goes into them, doesn't it? An awful lot goes into kit and player reveals. West Brom have just released theirs recently, and the home kit. To be fair, the release video is beautiful, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet. I've still to have my official conversation with those in charge at West Brom. But if I do get asked for anything I'd particularly like for next season, there will be, sound system's always top of the list, but hardly ever gets done. So after that, it will be lectern and maybe an unveiling video if we have like a new mic block to stick on the mic. Bring on the new season, eh?
Yeah.
Thank you, gents. Alex, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing the experience.
Pleasure catching up with you both.
Lucky old you. I'd settle for a Wembley trip, let alone a Champions League trip. Playoffs this season would be lovely. If it happens, you will not hear the end of it.
Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys, because I'm hoping to go to Athens for the Super Cup. Super Cup final. So that's up in the air at the minute. So hopefully next time I talk to you.
Yeah, I never got invited to that.
Yeah, I think it might be a new thing, Alan. So.
All right. Well,
I don't know. It's just I got. Are you available?
You're making this is all getting very awkward now, Alex. Hold on.
Well, he's already rubbed it in the
He's ready to go and like. Did you get invited? Oh, I got invited. Fair enough. Gents, thank you very much. Good to speak to you, and good luck for the rest of for the start of the new season. And here's to a good one again.
Thanks a lot, mate. See you soon.
All best.
And thank you very much to Alan and Alex for being part of this special episode. Great to hear Alex's experience at the Champions League and the fact those two had quite busy ends to the season and off-season stuff as well. We'll be back probably by the time the new season has started. But in the meantime, keep an eye out what we're talking about on Twitter @AnnouncersPod and on Instagram, We Welcome Your Teams Pod. Till next time, see you soon.